All right, this is going to be a brief look at settler colonies. So the term settler colony refers to a colony where a significant population of people from the colonizing state move and live. So the notion here is to either replace the original population of the colonized territory with a new society of settlers, or to live adjacent to. Uh, Examples of settler colonies would be the French and English in North America in the 16th and 18th century, so I think the United States and Canada, but also Australia, New Zealand, and this is a result of potentially forces that are happening in Europe. Think of the colonists in colonial America and their reasons for coming to the so-called New World. In our look at new imperialism in the 19th century, these are potentially things that are a result of the Industrial Revolution. So unemployment, poverty, homelessness, which we mentioned earlier, the economic recession of the 1890s, which we mentioned earlier, but also beliefs in white supremacy are embedded throughout settler colonies. The idea that as white people, they are better than local populations. They are more civilized, I'm putting this in quotes, than the so-called savage population of the place that they're coming into. So there is a view, for example, of early Australians that the Indigenous Australian Aboriginal population is, they don't really own this place. They're not using it well. It's empty, right? So this sort of rhetoric we see also in the settling of the American West, or the expansion of white America into the West. Other examples in Africa, so examples in Africa, we'll look at Algeria closely and South Africa closely, but other examples of settler colonies would be like Tunisia, Zimbabwe, Namibia, Angola, Mozambique, Zambia. Though all of those states had large white European populations who set up the place as their home. And we'll explore later on the effects of settler colonies when we look at South Africa and Algeria. But the result was bad. I mean, just to be totally honest, we have a term here, land expropriation. Land expropriation is a fancy way of saying stealing other people's land and taking it. So we'll see this in South Africa. We also, one of the other effects of settler colonies is the loss of native lifeways. So that can be the environmental relationships, sustainable environmental relationships are lost. The case in the American West, we have the purposeful murdering of millions of buffalo with the intent by the United States government, by intentionally going and destroying massive buffalo populations, was intentionally to destroy the indigenous lifeways of the Plains Indians. Other effects are, of course, segregation, but also genocide. So for your notes, settler colonies is a kind of colony, and it's one where the original population, that is, the people who lived there, are being replaced by Europeans. Okay, that's it.